Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Imogen Faith Reid interview, Good American Family. Imogen Faith Reid had a breakout year playing Natalia Grace in Hulu's 8-part limited series, Good American Family. The 27-year-old actress from the United Kingdom landed her first ever speaking role in the project, created by Katie Robbins. The series is a ripped-from-the-headlines drama about a Ukrainian-born orphan with a rare form of dwarfism, whose adoption takes a dark turn when her new family begins to question her true identity. Prior to auditioning for the role, Reid was unfamiliar with Natalia Grace, whose story has dominated U.S. tabloids and been the subject of multiple documentaries. Coming from the UK, the case really isn't covered much there. She tells Cold Derby, watch the video interview above. I had to do a lot of research. I was so fascinated by it all. I just really wanted to dig in. Rather than do an imitation, Reid focused on creating her own version of Natalia. While doing that, I just wanted to showcase her light and empowerment, the actress shares. I just wanted to make her feel seen and fight for that justice. Natalia Grace's adoptive parents, Christine and Michael Barnett, are played by Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass. The series examines Natalia's story from multiple perspectives, raising the question, is she a manipulative fraud or an innocent little girl caught in a tragic misunderstanding? As an actor, it was so fun to play from different perspectives. Reid says, we start off with Christine's perspective, and Natalia has to be very quick on her toes. She has to always be the next step ahead and manipulative. That was really fun for me to play. The most heartbreaking was obviously my point of view and just seeing her be so vulnerable. In episode 5, titled Too Hurty Without It, Natalia's adoptive parents have her legal age changed from 8 to 22, allowing them to abandon her an apartment to fend for herself. In that pivotal moment, viewers begin to question whether this seemingly evil con artist might actually be an innocent child. The episode serves as a powerful acting showcase for Reid, who masterfully conveys sadness, rage, and innocence while commanding the screen solo. I remember thinking, this is going to be a big episode for me. Reid says, it was a really good opportunity for me to show off my skills as an actor. That's what I was really looking forward to. I was surrounded by so much support by the crew and cast. It couldn't have been a more loving environment. Reid says there was plenty she could relate to in Natalia's story. I feel like she has this fear of people leaving, she explains. When that happens, it's like her world is just crushed. It's such a vulnerable feeling that I think all of us go through at some point. That's something I was really able to hone in on. To capture Natalia's physical stature and movements, Reid worked with a movement coach to master the way she walked, as if there was a pebble in her feet. She explains, my form of dwarfism is different from Natalia's. We had to find something in my physicality that felt genuine and not as though I'm pretending to be Natalia. I had to find that feeling of being unbalanced and walking through the mud. As an actor that used to do physical theater, that was something that I was really interested in. Reid says above anything else, this opportunity has taught her not to judge people based on how they look or sound. As people, we are not perfect. We all go through things. It's important to always be open to opinions. I grew so passionately for my version of Natalia. I'm so honored that I got to play her. It was such an incredible experience. When Imogen Faith Reid arrives at the cafe in Los Angeles, where we've agreed to meet, she is wearing an oversized blazer, her hair tucked into a loose bun, and the kind of easy smile that disarms before the first question is even asked. Though she has been acting for nearly a decade, Reid still carries the air of someone astonished that her profession has turned into a career. But with Hulu's Good American Family, the astonishment has given way to a different awareness, one that her work is being seen dissected, and talked about in living rooms across the country. The series, a morally tangled drama about a suburban clan forced to reckon with buried lies and half-kept promises, has become a conversation piece not just for its intricate writing but for its performances. At the heart of those is Reid's portrayal of Natalie, the youngest sibling in the Monroe family, a character who embodies both the innocence of the past and the sharp-edged disillusionment of the present. It was the role that scared me the most, Reid admits, wrapping her hands around a mug of tea. Natalie is constantly holding the mirror up to everyone else. She's not the loudest character, but she might be the most dangerous, because she asks questions no one else wants to answer. Fighting Natalie. For Reid, the challenge wasn't just in the dialogue, but in the silences. Katie Robbins and Sarah Sutherland, our showrunners, wrote these scenes where Natalie says almost nothing, but she's still detonating the room. That's terrifying for an actor because you can't hide. You can't overperform. You just have to be still, to trust that the audience will see what's simmering underneath. Reid credits the rehearsal process with helping her locate that stillness. The cast spent 3 weeks together before shooting, a luxury few productions afford. We didn't rehearse in the traditional sense. It was more like group therapy, she laughs. We sat in circles, we argued, we told each other the ugliest stories about our own families. By the end, it felt like we had been bound together with invisible thread. That's what you see on screen, the weight of shared history. When asked if she modeled Natalie on anyone in particular, Reid shakes her head. She's not a direct reflection of anyone I know, but she carries the energy of those people in your life who are both loved and resented. The ones who won't stop scratching at the truth. The pressure of relevance. Part of Good American Family's cultural spark comes from how uncomfortably relevant it feels in 2025. In a time when families are fractured not only by personal betrayals, but by political and ideological divides, the show holds up a magnifying glass. People tell me all the time, "That's my family," Reid says. And sometimes they mean it literally, like, "My brother is exactly like your character." And sometimes they mean it in this larger way, like the show has captured the exhaustion of pretending everything is okay. It's not escapist TV. It's more like exposure therapy. Reid admits that she worried about the backlash. We knew we were poking at sacred cows. The idea of the good American family is practically mythological. But what Katie and Sarah did so brilliantly was to show that goodness isn't about keeping the facade. It's about what happens when the facade crumbles, whether you lean into honesty or keep reinforcing the lie. The cast chemistry. Reid lights up when talking about her co-stars. Ellen Pompeo, who plays matriarch Margaret Monroe, has been both mentor and collaborator. Ellen is like this North Star on set. She knows exactly how to command a room, but she also listens. I can't tell you how many times she pulled me aside after a scene to say, "Don't second-guess that choice. Trust it." That kind of encouragement from someone of her stature, it changes you. Mark Duplass, who plays the morally conflicted father, brought a very different energy. Mark thrives on discomfort. He'll deliberately throw in a line that wasn't scripted just to see if you'll break. At first it rattled me, but then I realized it was his way of making the scenes feel alive. Natalie is supposed to be rattled anyway, so I used it. And then there are her on-screen siblings, who Reid refers to as co-conspirators. We all text each other daily, even when we're not working. I think that bond is what makes the family dynamic feel real. You believe we've grown up together, even though we met a year ago. Fame, anxiety, and the future. With the show's breakout success, Reid finds herself fielding more attention than ever before. Does she enjoy it? She pauses, choosing her words carefully.